In a sea of Giga Chad gamers doing things like the 28 fan kits in one inventory, 29 now, by the way, Mr. Napalm, you insane bastard. Doing things like going for GM on a group hardcore Iron Man. Doing things like running the Inferno in less than 40 minutes. I think the world record is 37 something now. Like, absolute freaks. There are people doing insane stuff in the game. In the sea of Giga Chad gamers, there are, of course, the rest of us. Plebs like you and me, who we click boss, we do some things, but we know who we are. We don't pretend to be something else, something that we aren't really. Today, I want to talk about something. Today, we're going to be doing a part 2 of our video, and it's going to be a little bit different. The part 1, of course, I hate these people more than botters. Talking about people who service their accounts, who pay Big Brother to get things like an Infernal Cape, Blorba, or even Grandmaster. This is going to be a part 2, just talking about an individual case. I'm not going to name this person, but we're going to go pretty into detail. We're going to tell a story. We're going to paint a picture of just one very, very egregious case that is just out there in the open, streaming on Twitch, all that good stuff, and we're going to have a little bit of a giggle. We're going to have a geeze through their account and just talk about my experience with them, and just have a bit of a laugh and just talk about the subject in general. But if you don't know, my name's Tufak. I play a duo group Iron Man with my bestest friend. We are currently rank 7 on the leaderboards. I play this game a lot. I talk about whatever. I'm passionate about this game. I like to talk about things I care about, so this is just another rendition of one of those episodes of me talking about something that I care about that kind of bothers me. This one kind of grinds my gears, so part 2 of the servicing video. And before the video begins, I want to give a massive shout out to all of our channel members. Big shout out to all of the heroes and legends. Thank you all for supporting the channel directly and helping me put out all of these videos, keep my streams live every single day. I appreciate you all more than you know. If you want to help support the channel directly, please consider joining and becoming one of our valued channel members, boys. So in the background, we got some footage of something. I don't know what I'll throw on in the edit, but today I'm going to talk about someone who I met through my stream, and now they do kind of some streaming of their own. But this is someone who, at first, their account was just kind of sus in terms of real-world trade stuff. It was like pretty obvious, but you can't really know unless someone tells you explicitly. We'll get into that later. But yeah, their account was just weird. They had basically max gear, but like no quests done. He had no real knowledge of the game. He said he came from RS3 and swapped some GP or something like that. He had some kind of story as to why he had GP. But like, we were teaching him Tob, and he had like full Masori and like a regen brace would be like his setup. Like, he had no Barrow's gloves, he had no Salve amulet. I don't think he had an Ava's accumulator for a while. I think darts were just kind of getting left everywhere. It was a really, really weird account, to say the least. But it was funny. I'm always open to bringing learners to Tob, so we brought him into some raids, and occasionally he would show up and do whatever. And so we always just knew him as this guy who probably bought a bunch of GP and was just kind of bad at the game and wanted to get into like later game PVM, and we were helping him learn Top. Relatively harmless. Like, I wouldn't necessarily trade the guy if I'm splitting out a raid drop. That's what more so worries me. Like, you don't really want to be trading with people who might be real world trading a lot. Your account could get caught up in something. Like, that's just always something I want to be conscious of. So that was the only thing I was kind of aware of. I'm like, I'll FFA if I'm in a raid with this guy, but like, other than that, we're like, whatever. We'll let him slide. We'll let him do his thing. Time passes, and eventually he's like, man, I want to get an Infernal Cape. And like most things in the video game, I do try to be helpful. If there's something that I think I can help with, I try to be helpful. If you're someone in my chat who's like going for your first cape, I will tell you, like, join my Discord. Like, feel free to ask questions. If you need to like post a image of a stack, and we'll tell you how to do a solve. Like, let us know. Like, we're there to help out. Like, we have people who would even jump in a call and like watch on a screen share, like helping you learn. Like, we have very helpful people in my Discord, and I've done this stuff before, so like I'm always trying to help. So we were doing that with him. He was trying to do Inferno, and we were helping him. It wasn't going so hot, let's say. He would make it to like wave 20, wave 25, get absolutely owned, and he's in full max gear. Full max gear. And I think eventually it got pretty frustrating. He kind of stopped asking for help at a certain point. There was like a certain... I don't know when, but like we stopped getting pings in the Discord, and we stopped hearing from him in terms of like, I'm working on this thing, and like I'm in the Inferno right now and asking questions, whatever. He kind of stopped hearing from him. And then maybe a week later, maybe less than a week later, he showed up to one of our raids. And boy howdy, wouldn't you know, he had an Infernal cape. Now, I don't know about you guys, but to me, when you do something hard and difficult, you're proud of it. I'm immediately telling somebody. In fact, I'm immediately telling everybody. So I was shocked that he didn't say anything. He just kind of showed up with it. And we were helping him with it. We knew he was on his Inferno grind. I was like, oh man, congratulations, you got your cape. I don't really remember what he said, but he kind of just, we you know, a little thank you or something, and then moved on with our day. But I knew in my heart of heart, I knew he was dying at wave 25 in like horrible ways, being out of food entirely not 4 days ago. I don't think our boy really got it all together and got his cape in that span of time. I think he just went and bought it, like he did with most likely all of his gear. So we didn't judge too hard, you know. It happens. Some people succumb to the weakness. They buy an Infernal cape that they can't get themselves. It happens. It happens, man. We didn't judge him too hard. We didn't fully, you know, cut him off or do anything crazy. We just giggled a little bit, maybe made a joke or two to him, and moved on. And wouldn't you know it, by golly, this gamer that he is, 1 week later, he's got a shiny new quiver. Ooh, that's a tough challenge too. It took me probably about a week straight of trying my dirty little butt off. You know, my chair was stinky by the end of the week, but it probably took me a week to do my 77 attempts for my quiver. But by golly, locking in, going from wiping on wave 26 on the Inferno to getting your cape a few days later, to then a week later I see him with a quiver in somebody else's stream, I thought to myself, now that is a little bit odd. That is just a touch suspicious, if you ask me. That's just, you know, there's just something not too likely about that. I'd tobbed with the guy. I'd seen his gameplay. I've seen his game. And something about that just didn't really scream believable. But we move on with our day. We giggle, and you know, some time passes. Some time passes. We don't really hear from him much. And then would you look at that? Not only does he have a quiver, he has Blorva. I noticed, because I don't think it was me in someone's stream that I saw him. I think someone sent me a screenshot of him. And I said, wow, a quiver. And it took me a second to really pay attention to the screenshot and say, wait just a darn moment. That's no regular Torva helm now, is it? That's no ordinary Torva helmet. Now that, my friend, is a Blorva helmet. Unlocked by killing all 4 of the Awakened bosses. Now, I know this good gentleman, this fine sir, is on a main account. I know he does not have an alt account. And I know that he has never killed these bosses before in his life. As a matter of fact, he is still to this very day 1 Leviathan KC, 1 Whisperer KC, and yes, he has earned a few more Duke KC. He's up to 91, and he's gotten a few more Vard KC. He's up to 222. But at the time, I believe he was less than 10 Vard KC, and he was 1 Duke KC as well. Now, all these things combined together in combination, if they weren't enough, when Radiant came out, he immediately had it. Basically, as soon as your average, sweaty gamer was getting Radiant, he had Radiant right away in, I don't know if it was 7 or 12 total Yama KC on the account. He's up to 100 and something now, but yeah. It is the most serviced account in terms of just blatancy, just like, fuck it, I'm gonna rip it. I've seen people service more, obviously. I've seen people service the entirety of GM on an account. That's a story for another day, maybe we tell that story another day. I've seen someone spend 7 bills servicing the majority of GM. But this is the most blatantly serviced account ever. Still the 1 Inferno KC, the 1 Kalo KC, and it's not like they will admit it and own up to it, and that's kind of why I'm making this video, because it is hilarious. Like, if you know this person, you could go in their stream and ask them questions and like ask them to to do it, or ask them about any of these grinds, and they will fully LARP as if they lived this experience, just to have the feeling and have people believe that they are that skill level of the game. But like, I don't know, to me it is just very sad that people hold such a value in other people's opinions on your skill level in the game, like holding such a high level of value in the fact that other people need to think you're good at the game, such that you will lie through your teeth every time you go live and every time people ask you questions, and like, it's just so blatant that like, I don't know, it's just like, they must know that it's kind of sad, and like at a certain point you can just admit it and kind of hang it up and, I don't know, do something else, or like try to do the difficult things on your own, or whatever. But like, these people will never do that. They'll just pretend like they've gotten these difficult things on their own and move on with their day and try to pretend. And as soon as people do find out, as soon as that group of friends finds out that their account is crazy serviced, they'll stop PVMing with them. They'll move on to another friend group that they can do raids with and whatever, that believe they're at that skill level of the game and believe that their account isn't super serviced. I've watched it happen multiple times, and at this point I don't really feel like it's my responsibility to protect people from the most blatantly serviced and super real-world trade account. Like, if you're raiding and splitting with this guy and your account ends up getting cooked, shit, that's not my problem. But it is sad to see, and it is kind of funny, so I wanted to yap about it today. That is the most blatantly serviced account on RuneScape. Maybe not the most, but in my opinion the most. And he does stream. You might see him in the odd VHE video. It is a thing. And I wouldn't be making this video if it wasn't 100% certain, if I wasn't 100% certain. I've talked to this person personally. I've been told that things in private Discord calls that confirm more or less everything that I'm saying in the video. However, we're not going to name this person, we're not going to shame this person. It's just, I wanted to talk about the idea, the concept of it, and, tell a story, so to speak. But hope you all have a beautiful day. Take care of yourselves. Drink some water, touch some grass, kiss a homie. This is kind of just like a unfiltered, uncut thing, so there might be some flubs, there might be some bubs, but I appreciate y'all. And yeah, take care.